Well, United played out a bore draw with Sunderland. First 0-0 draw of the season. Casemiro wasn't in the team. We saw exactly what he looks like when he's not there. I'm with Tom today. How is it going, Thomas?
Yeah, okay. I'm a bit croaky today. I'm coming off the back of a cold and at that sniffly stage, so I try not to sniffle too much in your ears, but okay, I'm okay. How about you?
Very good. Yeah, doing all right. Yeah, it was, I don't know, not awesome yesterday, was it? It was a pretty dreadful display. So I got up early to watch the game and spent the rest of the day in the boiling hot sun watching a track meet. Don't know if anyone track meet. God, that sounds American. Athletics, proper. They love doing this.
Well, yeah, you're in the prime area for it as well, aren't you? Like
that's true. Bit north of Nike, yeah.
Yeah, not too far. Yeah.
But yeah, if you remember when Wayne Rooney broke his metatarsal all those years, he went off to the Nike HQ to recuperate, didn't he? It's just couple of hours down the road. Yeah. Anyway, it's the most boring thing ever watching kids run around tracks. They have so many of them. So many of them. Anyway, I'm delaying talking about the football because I feel like we're not going to have much to talk about. Although what it did do, Michael Carrick made 5 changes, most of them enforced. I think Mazraoui probably just needed some minutes, hadn't had many minutes. The rest of them were injury related. And it kind of showed rusty players' depth beyond the first sort of 12 or 13 isn't that great. And we got extremely disjointed performance. Got away with one, basically. What do you make of the game? The selection first, and then the game overall?
Like you say, a lot of it was forced upon him. But I kind of like bringing in players like Mount, players like Mazraoui, and also Zirkzee, to be honest, even though I think he showed, which we'll get onto, I think he showed the reason why he's not been playing all season and kind of was put in the shop window, but failed to show anything in that shop window.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked how, we've secured to busy football now. We've got a chance to see what those players who've not been able to have a lot of minutes because of the lack of competitions that we've been in all season can do. And I thought Mazraoui did okay, and I feel like Mazraoui does okay all the time. He played really well at centre-back a few weeks ago, and he doesn't offer the same power and running that Dalot can do.
True, yeah.
And therefore, we are a little bit safe when he plays because he's really smart and really intelligent, defends really well, but he doesn't have that ability to overlap. And then when you watch Shaw on the other side, who does the same these days, he's like very competent defensively, but I think he has 1 assist this season. He's played every single Premier League game. There wasn't much coming from the fullbacks in an attacking sense, and I thought it was right to give Ahmad a go because Mbeumo's been very off it for quite a while, but Ahmad didn't really show much either. And then I thought, hey, give Zirkzee. I don't mind seeing Zirkzee from the start. Mbeumo's had his chances up top through the middle. Why not? There's nothing to lose. And he's just too slow for the Premier League. He technically, at times, he looks really good and he can do some really good things, but he's thankfully, because of yesterday being what it was, I wasn't that frustrated by his performance. But I think if that was a game that mattered, oh my goodness. Like that time when Bruno played him through and he just played such a bad pass, and
so many
he's just too slow, and it's just not good enough. Like Ibrahimovic, when he came to United, was very slow, but he was Ibrahimovic. You can get away with being really slow if you're really, really good. It's just not good enough.
Yeah, I don't think you can get away with it much in the Premier League anymore. There's so much. It's become such a power league. I mean, technically it's very good, but it is just power and speed, and I just don't think you can get away with players who aren't athletic for the moment in this current cycle. Maybe football changes all the time. Maybe we go back to highly technical at some point, but right now it's really hard to get away with that physicality. And it just kind of showed really all over the team. It's definitely something we're missing. When you think about the summer. I mean, we had Mazraoui, not an athlete, lovely footballer. I like him in the squad. He was cheap. He's a utility player. We can see he can play at right back, left back, centre back if he absolutely has to. He's a good player to have. I'm happy. I no wish to sell him, and I'm sure they won't. And
he's got a really good attitude, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he just seems to just get on with it.
Yeah.
And except he hasn't been in the team much. We'll get onto the transfer market and stuff, because this really did expose some needs, didn't it? Then in midfield, Mount. It's funny. It's like theoretically he should be really good in midfield. He doesn't mind he's a hard worker, right? He doesn't mind doing the shift back and forth, up and down, lateral when you're in central midfield. He's obviously a very good presser, but you can kind of see why coaches won't play him there, really. He struggled a little bit, but getting turned around, right? And Kobbie Mainoo struggles with that a little bit as well, right? So he's a lot better, I'd say. On the defensive side, he's always put up the metrics, Mainoo, but I think his positioning is getting better, and we've seen it, so still some time to develop. And then Mount, same thing, really. And so and Sunderland, really physical side, and it just kind of showed all over the pitch. We couldn't get at them, and they just looked like a better passing team as well, which is mad to say of a team that's just come up. But they seem to retain the ball better than us. They were definitely more physical than us, and we just struggled to get in the game. And I think that, like, just having all those changes, not being athletes, not being able to outfight them, made a big difference in the end. It couldn't stick up front. We barely created a chance. I was just looking. It's 0.8 xG, 0.4 open play xG. I mean, just barely created anything. The first shot on target was in the 3rd minute. Yeah, it's just, it wasn't great. We got away with it. At least it wasn't a defeat, because, everyone freaks out online anyway, which I think is unnecessary. And Michael Carrick wasn't freaking out afterwards. And but it would have been a lot worse if we'd lost, obviously.
Yeah, and Sunderland had been in a bit of poor form as well. Their last home game, they lost 5-0 to Forest. Yeah. But everyone always upset against United, and the intensity that they played with the atmosphere as well, it is always going to be a difficult game, I think, no matter what time we'd have played them all season. And they went for a real period for the first half of the season where they were really, really good at home, and no one could beat them, and they went unbeaten for a while. And they have dropped off, but they showed on today they can really pick it up, and they do have some really good players like Xhaka. I kind of look at that performance from him yesterday and his performance all season. I think, is there any chance we could get him for cheap? But it's probably not going to happen. And I think also what he benefits from is having all the runners around him, because he does put in a tackle, and his ace on the ball is really, really good. Energy and the running and the legs around him really does help him. And like you say, us having two not slow players, but Mount does look slow. He's suffering from lack of sharpness. He's not played that much football, and to stick him into that kind of game was a little bit sink or swim. And it's not right to judge him too harshly on that performance yesterday, but I think you do see the inadequacies of him playing there. And
yeah, for sure.
But it's also obvious that we've got Casemiro, who is one of the best defensive midfielders of all time, who's having an incredible season, and he's swapping with Mason Mount, and it's not gonna match up, is it really? So it's kind of obvious what was going to happen in that respect. And Mount's not a defensive midfielder. He's not that physical. There was always going to be a big hole there, and it's probably better. It's still better than probably playing Ugarte, because he moves the ball a little bit.
Well, Ugarte's injured as well. I wonder whether they couldn't have played Tyler Fletcher there, who is the more sort of defensive of the two brothers, really, and has played that sort of role in the past. I guess it's a big ask, isn't it, to go to a really physical, up for it Stadium of Light and then just chuck him in there. So maybe that would have been unfair. Mount, the more experienced man, and all of that. But I think we saw why most coaches won't play Mason Mount in there. He struggles with the ball going past him into the channels. Kobbie Mainoo, right? So I get in the YouTube comments, sometimes on Spotify as well. It's an interesting experience reading that. So many comments about Kobbie Mainoo. He won't run his jogging. He tops the running charts every week. Every week. Oh, it's just assumptions people make about him, because, you don't have to sprint all the time. The one thing I would say is the lateral coverage piece with Kobbie Mainoo, right? That's the speed over the 10 to 15 yards. That could get a little bit better. I think he's muscled up a bit. That will definitely help him there. And then it's just learning. So he was in the more defensive role yesterday. It's obviously not his role, right? He's a link player. So he was doing it. And I thought actually he was probably our apart from Senne Lammens, probably our best player yesterday. But I get so many comments that go along the lines of, it either starts, hey, Kobbie Mainoo just won't run, Amorim was right, and there's some kind of Amorim truth out. Or it'll be, I'm not a racist, but it's so funny. And it makes me, it's just like the sad state of affairs of the world. But anyway, I won't get into that. Because I'll get a bunch of comments going, God, you're getting woke again,
What does that even mean? Because,
yeah.
Anyway. But it's not going to, but Mainoo's been so good.
He's been really good.
He's improved enormously defensively. Like the way he, this is also kind of a little bit of my problem with, I think, this season, and actually also the season of Ollie. I think a lot of these players in our squad are playing for the World Cup, and I think Mainoo has turned it around immensely. Like, I think defensively he's improved so much. He's so much more physical. He's so much more willing to put in a tackle. Like, the amount of slide tackles he puts in is immense. And I think it's so funny when people say, like, he doesn't run. You don't have to run in this. They don't have to look like you're running like Usain Bolt to be running at your top pace. Like, if you look at, like, let's say Kante, for example, when he's just a faster player, but when you watch him run, he doesn't look like he's like cranking his neck to get to the tackle. That's just his running style. Like, Mainoo just isn't that quick, really, and especially like his acceleration. It's just, but I think defensively he's been really like so good.
Put someone who runs alongside him, and I think you'll have a really nice balance next season. It is a tricky one, thinking of the types of players they want and the balance you have in the squad, because I think that Michael Carrick would like to move to a bit more of a controlled possession style. We've had that. The question I have is about, with Michael Carrick's style, is how much pressing does he want to do? How much do you want to get cheap balls up in attacking areas, which is why you do the high press or the counter press, right, to regain the ball quickly. How much of that does he want to do? Because we don't see that at all at the moment. And I think he's doing that to protect Casemiro mostly, who just can't last much more than 70 minutes at full pelt, basically, and to protect his legs, so they drop into a mid block all the time. I just do not, which is why United part of the reason why United look much better in transitional moments, big spaces moments. He's also a big spaces player because he likes to play riskier balls. So does Bruno. We've got players like Mbeumo and to an extent, Cunha and definitely Sesko like to run space, right? So we just look better like that. I suspect that Michael Carrick would like to move to a bit more of a controlled possession style, which means the player you put alongside Kobbie Mainoo needs to be a progressive passer as well as a physical monster and put up good defensive metrics. And the only player who ticks all those boxes is Elliot Anderson, basically. And he's, City want him and he's going to cost well over 100 million and all of that kind of stuff, which just makes it a really tricky balance. Who do you play and what 4 players? Because you need 4 being in the Champions League. Do you want in central midfield? Kobbie Mainoo plus presumably 2 defensive midfielders. Ugarte will be sold, and 1 more number 8. And is that 1 more number 8 a mixture of Jim Thwaites and Jack Fletcher? Like, I don't know if they're ready yet, and they play like 30 games between them or something like that. Are they ready for that, or is it buying another one? Like, there's a lot of speculation yesterday about Ederson again. I mean, I personally would be utterly shocked if we bought him and this time next year we're going, what a great season he's had. I'd love him to, if we buy him, and I'm still a little dubious. Sully on Twitter was saying it, and he's normally quite well clued into the club. It seemed like agent talk to me, but I would be absolutely shocked. Every time I've seen him, I'm like, yeah, good utility player, but that technically he's not. He doesn't look very Brazilian. If you were to be really reductive about it, you go, he looks a bit like Fred Mark II, which is really reductive. He's got lots of physical attributes are great.
Yeah.
Sprints and runs, gets all around the pitch, but the technical side of it. So anyway, I'm diverting, but the question about like what is the balance with Kobbie Mainoo? Now he's signed a new contract. They're staying at the club. He's had an excellent second half of the season. That's a big key question. And without Casemiro, even without Ugarte, he would have done a lot of tackling and harrying and then losing the ball. It would have been a better balance than Mount, clearly.
I'd still look at Belieber, to be honest. I think.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if he's not Elliot Anderson, but I think he does bring more physicality and I think more defensive nous than Anderson. I do think that Anderson is amazing, but I think from what I've seen of him at Forest, he needs Sangare next to him, and when Forest played, well, yeah, true. I think Forest in midweek really got shown up against Villa when they didn't have enough. Well, Anderson played next to Dominguez in midfield, and McAtee was the third, and they had to take McAtee off at half time and bring on Ryan Yates to be a defensive midfielder because they were getting completely overrun in that midfield. And I don't think that was just McAtee who was the problem. The three of them, they didn't have an actual defensive midfielder in there, and Anderson isn't that. And I think if you played Kobbie, Mainoo and Anderson together, Anderson would be a great player to have potentially as someone to play alongside Mainoo in some games, or instead of Mainoo in Champions League or whatever, to give Mainoo a rest or whatever it is, or when Mainoo's injured. But I think if you were to play those two as our first starters, I don't think that balance works. And I think someone like Belieber would give us more balance. But then obviously we, like you say, in terms of build-up, in terms of progressive passing, in terms of just pure quality on the ball, we do lose a little bit in there. But it's really tough to find a unicorn who can do all of that. Even someone like Declan Rice, who is has less quality than Anderson. He ended up didn't want to play in front of the back four. He wanted to be more progressive, and he would leave gaps. And it's really, really difficult to find that person who has that defensive nous, that discipline to stick in there. And I think this is why every single time we don't play Casemiro, it's like, they're in on us so quickly, because Casemiro just has this sixth sense of knowing where to stand. And that only comes really from, I guess, experience, but also just pure tactical acumen.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we do have a problem with that balance because Mainoo's a very specific type of player. He's a linker. Like, he's the Modric type player. And Fernandes is a very special, unique one-of-one type player as well. And that gives us a little trouble trying to find the right balance of the three in midfield. It's got better this season as Kobbie Mainoo's rounded out his skills, right? Which I always found really odd when people were so dismissive of him because Amrim was, right? What you think players can't improve, right? He's a brilliant player anyway, right? Started the Euro 2024 final, forced his way into the team. Technically, small spaces, just about as good as you get anywhere, right? With his feet and all of that. He's got better physically, as he always was going to do, and he's getting better tactically playing. It was his 100th game yesterday, right? So, but anyway, I do think that is a challenge, right? And I'm not sure Carrick trusts our build-up anyway, like, because Casemiro, as many qualities as he's got, is a bit scattergun with the passing. Shaw and Dalot on the other side are not that great. Shaw's better than Dalot with build-up, and we can't build up out of the back unless we have Martinez in there, right? So, and Martinez has to play along someone who's dominant in the air, otherwise it just doesn't work, right? And he can't really play with Heaven because two left-footers. So he has to play with Maguire, and Maguire's no good in open spaces, right? So, like, that whole piece, it's just a bit imbalanced, and which is why they'll be looking at what are our options in central defence. Can Yoro get more dominant in the air because he's great in open, big spaces, open spaces on the turn? That's what they'd like to see. Can Martinez stay fit and not get sent off? Nearly got himself a red card yesterday, didn't he, with a over-the-top tackle onto the ankle. Yeah. Could have done. And so, like, that whole sort of quadrant there of the two in front of the back four, the pivot, as well as Bruno ahead of him, who's, I'm sure, going to stay now, it's just not quite right. And so they'll be looking to, right kind of squad balance, because you've got different kind of games, right kind of balance in match as well. And hopefully they get the the recruitment right. Anyway, we haven't talked about the game much. There were a few incidents. I mean, I mentioned one with Martinez there. Not a great tackle. I mean, a kind of amber tackle. Wasn't obviously a red, was it? But not awesome. He nearly got himself another ban there. That would have been great. Typical Martinez as well if he'd done that.
Yeah, it would have taken us into next season as well, wouldn't it? Well, it probably would have got, I guess you would get a 4 match ban, because I think if you get 2
it'd be second, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand at times his mentality. I mean, it's great to be so front foot. It's great to be so aggressive, but there's times he just there are so many times where he does it, where he's just a bit too rash, a bit too wanting. I mean, I don't want to tar him with the same brush as Christian Romero, but he is a bit of a Christian Romero light, an international teammate light.
Yeah. Bit Marcos Rocco, isn't he, as well? I mean, obviously a better player.
Another Argentinian, yeah.
I know, what is it? I mean, we're just going to get really stereotyped here.
I know. I was trying to avoid that myself, and then the people that were coming to mind were like Gabby Heinzer or Marcos Rojo, Christian Romero.
Left-footed hard man. He loved her. He's a bit wild, yeah. Amazing. I've been to Buenos Aires a few times. It's beautiful, just a wonderful city. And first time I went, I was like, I'm English. Is it going to be a bit edgy? And everyone was so friendly. It was amazing. Just amazing
It's
place.
Supposed to be incredible, isn't it? I think Enzo Fernandez was talking it up the other day, saying how much
beautiful
it's like
city,
Madrid.
loads of culture, parks, great entertainment, bars. Obviously, if you want to head around, the Boca area, there's a bit of edge to it. Although during the day you can do tours and stuff like that as well if you want to go favela staring.
I guess in the Hunter virus hasn't gone quite to the Buenos Aires yet. Is it just in the countryside of Argentina at the moment?
Oh, dearie me. We don't want any more of that, do we? Yeah, just something, I don't know what it is. Such a beautiful cultural city, and it produces all these nutters.
Yeah, it's true. It's really true. Yeah.
Anyway, I guess Aiden Heaven was unlucky to be dropped. I mean, Martinez just needs some minutes, doesn't he? And
I think
done
that's
really
it as well.
Like, so.
I feel like there's a few things where you're thinking, well, yeah, especially Heaven, but and I get a little bit in Mbeumo, but maybe less so. Dallo a little bit maybe, but I feel like you think if you're Carrick, you can just say to them, lads, we've got the Champions League now. We just need to give a few other people a chance. Similarly to Zirkzee, like. I think if that game meant anything yesterday, Zirkzee wouldn't have played. It would have still played Mbeumo, despite obviously how bad Mbeumo's been recently. And yeah, to see Mount as well get a few minutes. Fine.
Shot window, maybe.
Yeah. He was playing really well at the start of the season, and he just did the classic Mason Mount thing of get injured and just can't obviously get back into the team.
He's played more Premier League games for us this season than he has in his previous 2, which I was looking at the numbers yesterday. I was like, oh, bloody hell, has he? I just assumed he'd been injured all season, but he's actually played more.
He went through a little phase, didn't he? Just a few injuries, but nothing major. But at the start of the season under Amorim, he was one of our best performers. But yeah, watching him yesterday, how off it he looked, you're thinking, where is the place for you in this team?
There isn't, and he just earned so much money. So, I mean, this thing that Ineos have about, you have 2 years, I mean, this is his third, to prove yourself, but also you need value for money, right? The performances have to match the wages. With the Champions League uplift, he's going to be earning £250,000 a week. He's going to be second top, Casemiro going, he's going to be the second biggest earner in the squad. It makes no sense. The problem is, you've got 3 years amortised on the 5-year deal, so you've got 22 million on the books as of this summer, but he's on a massive wage. You might, I don't know how you get much of a fee for him, basically, with his injury record and all that, if you wanted to sell him, which tells me he's likely to be in the squad next year, by the end of the summer, but he's taking up a squad space, and what is he? Is he Bruno's deputy? Bruno's never injured.
But then I was thinking Cunha probably was. I would rather Cunha played in that middle, to be honest.
Yeah, especially with Bayer. I mean, I do think for squad balance, we needed someone who's willing to go on the outside on the left.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not saying to play ahead of Cunha because, I mean, I think Cunha's had a very good season. He's inconsistent. As he was yesterday, he had 2 chances at the end yesterday.
He was very quiet in the first half as well, and then I feel like he came to life a little bit, especially towards the end. But his decision making at times is really bad. I really like him as well. I don't want to be too harsh, but it's just sometimes where you just think that. I mean, it's easy when you're watching on TV or you're watching in the stands and you can see the whole pitch, but you're just thinking that is the pass to play, and he just doesn't. It maybe takes an extra touch or plays a bad pass. It just doesn't quite have that like almost extra quality that you hope he does, because at times he's absolutely unbelievable.
Well, you know what? Yeah, he's brilliant at some things, isn't he? I mean, he's a very good finisher when he gets in the right position. He's very good from long range. He
really good at like carrying with the ball.
Carrying,
as well.
He's a great ball
strong.
Carrier. Yeah, I just want options. Yeah, it's no wonder they're looking at Yan Diomande, who is just brilliant at going past people.
Yeah.
Everyone else is as well. He would be extraordinarily expensive. Or they're trying to buy this Monga from Leicester, though he's 16. And of course, they've got to think long term, like, how do you get JJ Gabriel in the side? Is he going to be... I mean, he's played a lot central this season with Noah Ajayi coming off the left. They're both incredibly talented. So, like, is it worth buying a young player who goes on the outside? Because you want to keep space in the squad for them. They're both very young, though. They might be a couple of years away from really like playing more games, or might never make it at all because young players, you know. It's
never know.
You never know exactly what will happen. So yeah, it's slight imbalance in the squad, and
makes me think about like Chido Obbie as well, because they've clearly tried to have him in the academy. Didn't want to send him out on loan, so
off the ball work. It's off the ball work they've been working on with him, and I think from what I've seen recently, I think that's improved a lot.
So. I went to a couple of under-21 games this season, and it felt like they were just screaming at Chido Obbie the whole game to keep him in the right place. I mean, he's a better option than Zirkzee. I think even right now, I think we saw even from last season that he's a better option, and it'll be interesting to see what happens to him next season. Do they send him out and learn to a championship team, or do they incorporate him as the third striker in the squad?
Yeah,
be interesting.
Definitely need. I mean, we need another. Zirkzee's going to leave, I imagine. I mean, it doesn't like. Here's the opposite problem with Mount. Right, he's not on big wages, and we didn't pay much for him, so we'll get a fee, probably make a profit. It just suits a slower league. Spain or Italy, it's obvious, isn't it? You know, his technical side comes out when he's not harassed. You never get any space in the Premier League, and so, but then we cannot, like, if it's Sesko and Bouma Cunha as our options to play through the centre, and we don't have another left-sided player, then you end up playing Ahmad there. He doesn't really like playing there. He likes to come inside. He's an out-to-in player. We've got only out-to-in players. That's why you need an out-to-out player, and I don't think that's quite right. I don't think Bouma really enjoys playing through the centre. He played a lot through the centre under Carrick. I don't know whether that helped his form. So it would make sense to me to have another striker. Sesko's obviously coming to his own in the second half of the season. And so do you sell Zirkzee and use that money to buy another striker as a backup? Or do they believe in Chido Obbie and bring him into the first team? Or is his development pathway a championship loan or something like that? I don't know exactly. It doesn't feel to me he's quite ready, Chido Obbie, but he's definitely got better at the things that they were very frustrated with him about, which is basically he doesn't run until he sniffs a chance of a goal.
Yeah. And he is a really good goal scorer. I think even the games we saw him in the first team as well, like, he got a lot of chances.
He did,
I mean, compared to Højlund, who was the complete opposite of that at that time. That's really...
Would you have kept Højlund and sold Zirkzee last summer? I mean, it feels like that would have been a better squad balance, really, although Højlund obviously had such a stinker last season that maybe
I would have
just needed a fresh start.
Zirkzee just never... The sort of guy I imagine at five-a-side would be amazing, because he's strong, he's got an amazing touch, and you don't have to be that quick when you play five-a-side. But I think just in the Premier League, I really feel for him as well, because I think he seems like a really nice guy, and there's so many games where we've had this season where he's not got on, and he's been celebrating on the pitch after the game with the players. And you know, like, you can see with someone like that doesn't look like it's bothering them. It doesn't look like they're jealous or they're envious inside, or annoyed or frustrated that they didn't get on. They actually feel like they're there to be bigging up the other teammates and looks genuinely delighted. And I love that about him. I love that about any player that's like that, who, even if they're not playing, just want us to win and want their teammates to win. And I think he and Mazraoui are exactly like that. And I think that's why I find it a bit sad that it's just not worked out. And I would have definitely done that, because Højlund is young as well. And I feel like Højlund has the raw attributes to potentially be threatening. And I think if you watch Napoli this season and go, hey, we could get Højlund in for reasonably cheap as a second striker to Šeško, I think, yeah, I'd probably do that. But we're not getting him back, are we? Because Napoli are qualifying.
No, Napoli going to trigger the option, yeah. He still doesn't take enough shots, Højlund. That's his problem, basically.
Yeah, and he's only scored 10 goals in the league this season, so it's not 10 or 12, but not a great return.
No, he's an efficient striker. He doesn't get in the right positions. Yeah. It's a development thing. Who knows whether he ever will, but yeah, look at his shot map, just not enough, basically. And that has always been his problem. Somehow he didn't learn. Doesn't seem to have got better this season, but we'll see. I can't say I watch Napoli every week or anything like that, but what I've seen, I think that's still his problem. So, but yeah, it's a gap in the squad. I don't know how we're going to fill out all these things. I don't think we're going to get the perfect squad next season, and we're going to have more games. So I was saying on the last pod, if we finish third again next season, that'll be good work. And I just don't 100%. Think we should. Yeah, we should just be realistic about what the pathway is and just how much we can spend. And it's not like there isn't capacity, right? We're going to have a fair amount of squad cost ratio rule headroom, not 700 million's worth, but a few hundred million's worth of headroom there, especially with Højlund and Rashford presumably, and Casemiro going, and Maguire on a downgraded package. Maybe they find a way to sell or loan out Mount. It gives you quite a lot of room to play with. But it's
sure, he'll be injured for most of next season as well, because there's no World Cup coming. So
exactly. They'll have to think about that. So how do you do at least two midfielders? And really, it should be three, I think, but at least two. A left-sided forward, maybe a left-back, depends what they think of Dorgu. I mean, he came on as a forward yesterday, but I don't really see it, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know if I see it as a left-back.
It's hard to say, right? It's hard. We just haven't seen him as a left-back at all, right? And we saw him as those two games, Arsenal and City, as a forward, and a couple of sub-appearances now. So who knows, right? Raw attributes, but is he good enough defensively? It certainly gives you the bombing forward and attacking stuff
true.
That we need. Just, is he good enough defensively? I don't know, right?
But to be honest, I thinking about that, it'd be nice to just give him a go at left back next week against Forest, just to see what he's like, just to see it as an option in the flesh in a Premier League game. Not that there's obviously that much riding on it, but bringing him. I think he brings loads to us in an attacking sense from a defensive perspective, like he did in those two games against Arsenal and City. Like, his pressing and his pace across the ground is great, and he's really physical as well. But I just think from a technical perspective, is in the build up where Shaw's obviously
a bit raw,
Shaw it doesn't offer you that bombasticness anymore, and he's not great in the final third either, but he's clean with his possession, and he can pass nicely. He's got lovely one-two touch kind of play, but you think Dorgu in that kind of respect, I just feel like the ball might just be arrowing off his foot a little bit.
It is, but
you don't know.
So how do you do a second striker, a left-sided forward or defender, maybe both, two central midfielders, and then they really have to think. I mean, I don't think they'll be able to do both fullbacks, but honestly, we could do with a better quality option, because Dalot is just horrendous in the final third, just horrendous. Everything is bad. The amount of times he gets into a great position and his shanks one over last week. He did
we play some lovely football, 6, 7, 8 passes. It goes out to the right, it goes to Dorgu, and it kicks out for a throw in or a goal.
Man, you could just if you could combine a few players in the squad.
There's surely a compilation on YouTube with that, isn't it?
Of him shanking stuff, I'm sure.
Kicking it out for a goal.
And then central defence. I mean, the worry is is, as I said before, the combinations and the fitness, right? So I think if they believe that, I mean, long term, you're looking at Heaven and Euro, and you'd feel like that's a pretty high quality.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know where they develop. I'm not saying they're the best in the world or anything yet, but at least you have the raw ingredients.
Yeah.
If next season is mostly Euro and Martinez, okay. We don't know what's happening with De Ligt. I mean, he's been out for 6 months now, basically, with his back problem, stress fracture. Who knows if
that's a real shame as well, because he was great at the start of the season.
Yeah, that's right. And he's good alongside Martinez because you need someone who's dominant aerially, as I said. So, like, it feels like we've got a lot of numbers there. It's 5 central defenders, but there's too many of them have issues, can't play together, or are injured all the time, and that's their problem. So they have to think about that. It just feels like too many. We need more players because Champions League, and we need to upgrade. It feels like I don't see them doing 8 deals, which is basically what we need. I think we'll end up next season like with some issues. Yeah,
for sure. And like I think you say, third will be like solid. There's too many areas. Well, I mean, we last season we cleared out all of our wingers and we set up the squad to play in a 3-4-3. So the fact that we haven't got a guy who's going to go outside on the left makes sense because we got rid of the two. Yeah. Also, still don't know what's going to happen with Rashford because the Barcelona deal seems to be wavering. He's not going to come back and play for us, but
no, he's not. And I think on both sides they realise it's best to move on. Probably. I mean, like if you were to, I mean, you know, there's a lot of reports of Rafael Leao, and that is just literally agents. They're trying to get him a better deal or move out, and he is not as good as Marcus Rashford. I know that's going to piss a few people off, and I'm going to get a few comments about that. He's just not. Right. And Rashford's had a good season at Barcelona. He's in and out of the team. He's been good for squad harmony. He's not complaining, and he's put up good numbers. Right. Those just facts. Mm-hmm. And so if you were looking around Europe and going, what kind of player would we like? Well, we'd like an attacking forward who can go on the outside, score goals and provide assists. Everyone would be like, yeah, that guy, he's pretty good, actually, right? For 25 million, which is the fee that Barcelona won't pay. He's just on a humongous wage, and Barcelona have other priorities, and so that's why they're trying to negotiate. I think what they'd like is another loan. They'd keep him.
Yeah,
Hansi Flick has been very complimentary all the time. They'd keep him. They're just negotiating. It's Barcelona's way of negotiating. We're not really interested because they want Julian Alvarez, right, to replace Lewandowski, who's coming over to the MLS. So anyway, it's. Something will happen, but I suspect it'll be another loan, which is not ideal because we'd like the fee, obviously.
I think if we signed like 4 or 5 really good players, and I think to give them their due with Ineos's hit rate, it's been pretty good.
Has it?
Do you know?
I mean, I don't know. Good. Last summer's been really good, yeah. And Bumo Sesko and Cunha all worked out. I mean, it's not been
as well.
Lammens, amazing.
Lammens is an unbelievable signing. That is an unbelievable signing.
He made that mistake against Liverpool. It's literally his only mistake all season.
He was so good yesterday as well. He's so old school. The way he dived, I know it's kind of obvious, kind of just very basic, but the way he just dived at that lad's feet in the first maybe 10 minutes yesterday, like could have got his head kicked off, but he feels like a goalkeeper out of the 90s. Catches stuff as well.
Catches stuff.
Yeah.
You're just confident. Someone takes a shot. You're
confident, doesn't get down on himself. I remember when Peter Schmeichel once said that it's like the thing that he stood him out from other keepers is that when he made a mistake, he never thought about it again. I feel like not that Lammens really makes mistakes, but I feel like he would have the same mentality. Like, come back from Liverpool last week, could have been dodgy. Nope.
Not in the slightest,
Nope.
Yeah, it's just been perfect. When Siddiqui went through, I just didn't have a doubt.
Yeah,
and he just gives us so much confidence. I met Andre Onana's one of his former coaches actually at a party, random. Had a chat. Yeah, I know, totally random, and because we just ended up talking about football as you do, you know. Oh, you're from England, you're Premier League, Manchester United, oh, you know. Anyway, that's how it goes. And he said, once your confidence has gone, your confidence has gone, and that was his assessment of Andre, that he just it'd gone. on both sides. And so, but yeah, with Lammens, it's the total opposite. Everyone just has complete and utter confidence in him. He's been a brilliant signing. Tony Cosen, thank you, well done. Goalkeeper sorted for the next decade. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. To get to your point, perfect, very good last season. I mean, Cunha and Mbeumo, in and out seasons, haven't they? Honestly, and Sesko's been developing. I think we'll see even better from them next season. Looking forward to seeing them in the Champions League. It's the season before, which wasn't properly an Ineos summer, was it? They hadn't had a lot of planning. So De Ligt injuries, he'd have been great apart from that. Yoro developing. Let's say, I think we'll be all right there. Ugarte and Zirkzee just haven't worked out. Mazraoui's good. Turns out to be a great utility player. I think we need those kind of players. It's Ugarte just dreadful. Just obviously not a Premier League player. And Zirkzee just they just profiled him wrong, right? They just profiled him wrong, and I guess that can happen, but it shouldn't happen. But it did.
And I think if we have a summer like we had last year, I feel we'll be in a really good place. If we're talking this time next year.
5 players then. Come on, name them. Who would you, if you had 5 to buy? Yeah, let's put you on the spot.
We have to sign 2 centre midfielders for sure. Obviously, that's like the biggest thing that they've got to do immediately. They were talking about 100 million last summer for Believer.
It's too much to develop to be 100. He's not Caicedo, and he's definitely not Kante yet. Right?
Yeah,
maybe maybe one day.
I think it'd still be one of my top choices. I don't know who else I'd sign in midfield because I think Anderson's going to City. I would want him, but I think he's going there. I mean, Diamande I would absolutely love, but again, like you say, it's going to be so much money and
walk over broken glass, wouldn't you? Yeah.
It feels like Liverpool with the leaders in that chase. How much is Anthony Gordon? Would you be tempted by Anthony Gordon?
Okay, I'm going to say it, and people are going to have a go at me. He's not as good as Marcus Rashford.
No, it's definitely true. Yeah,
this should be the test, right? I mean, the thing that people are pissed off with about Marcus Rashford is supposedly the attitude, right? And I think sometimes people make a mistake with the attitude, and he did have he had some personal stuff going on, right? And he fell out with Ten Hag because Ten Hag took his best ever season and said, hey, by the way, you've got to cover for the fact we don't have a left back and we're playing Amrabat at left back and you need to come back and do all the defensive work. He's not the best presser in the world and not the best defensive player in the world. Undoubtedly true, right? Yeah, biggest weakness in his game. It's never really improved. But Anthony Gordon, technically not as good as Marcus Rashford, not as quick, doesn't score as many goals, definitely not as good a passer. And so we are selling Marcus. I'm not suggesting he's coming back. He won't play for United again, but that should be the bar, right?
Yeah.
So I just don't see the point in spending 100 million on Anthony Gordon, right? Bayern are trying to buy him. Newcastle asking 100 million.
I don't understand what Bayern are trying to buy because he's not getting their team.
No, I mean, unless they want to play him, unless they want, yeah, exactly. It's utility. He can play in a few places, but Diaz has had a brilliant season. So has Kane.
Yeah, Musiala, Elise, like it's a pretty good 4, it might be. What about? I'm thinking of Newcastle players because I don't know. They all seem like they want to leave, like Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they've all realised that Newcastle is not the project they were sold.
I would love either of those 2 centre midfielders, but again, they might cost a lot of money. But also, how much do Saudis care? Are they going to keep driving up a price? Because I feel like age profiles, they're pretty good as well.
Well, Tonali Guimaraes is a bit older.
Is he a bit? So, what is he?
He's 28. He's 28.
Is he really? Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Tonali then. Tonali,
love his range of passing, and he is. He's not physical in the sense that he's going to bully people off the ball, but he does a lot of running. Right?
Loads of running, yeah, for sure. And then I feel like we have to sign a striker as well, and I don't know who that is, but I would just go for someone who's really technical, who can link the play really well, and maybe is less of a goal scorer. Because I feel like Šeško is all of that. It could potentially be all of that, but he's primarily a goal scorer at this moment in time. But his link-up play isn't great, and I feel like because of what we're going to have in those positions, I feel like when we play Mbeumo up top, we have that ability to link. Those 4 can interchange and link really well, but not be able to almost run in behind. And I feel like if you pick up someone who maybe doesn't score a lot of goals, you might be able to get him for a little bit cheaper. Who that is, I don't know, but in my head, that would be the profile.
Yeah.
I don't know who we're linked with up top, to be honest.
I haven't seen any names. Just I think we're trusting on Christopher Vell to pull out some magic from somewhere. Yeah, I know that it's the central midfield first and everything else afterwards.
Yeah.
And it has to be 2, but possibly 3 with maybe a cheaper punt in the way they did with Dorgu or Lammens.
Yeah.
20, 30 million pound players. But the first 2, you spend your 150 on those 2. And then, or whatever the number is, yeah. Belabor would be a punt as well because the raw ingredients are there, but he seems to have just lost his confidence this season.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look at him and I'm like, there's some similar profile. He's a ball carrier as well. Do we need 2 ball carriers in there? He's an okay passer, but not brilliant. Does that matter? He covers the ground. He's a real space eater, which we definitely could do with. So we wouldn't worry about the physicality there. It's just a form, you're taking a little bit of a punt and hoping that his bad form is because it's his second season, sort of, or he was linked with United, didn't get the move he wanted, disappointed. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but he's not getting in the Brighton side at the moment. So, and then, all the others, it's a real risk. I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal didn't drop 100 million on Tonali because they still haven't sorted out that.
Yeah.
Who's going to play alongside Rice, Zubimendi in and out. Liverpool needs to sort out their midfield as well, which they didn't do last summer. So it's going to be very competitive. But United just need to spend the big money.
I think someone will go for that Adam Scott at Bournemouth as well. He's a really good
Alex,
player. Alex Scott, right? Yeah.
He's a really good player,
from...
Yeah. And obviously Bournemouth sell and then just manage to buy another player who's just as good.
That's
remarkable
true.
Ability to do that, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Picked up Rayan from Jesus, what a player he looks.
Yeah, he looked great yesterday.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly. I asked you to name the names. I couldn't name them myself. Or exactly what it is. I want all of them, I think. So, not Edison, though. I just don't see it. Hope to be proven wrong if we do that.
I feel like there must be someone. Well, we're being linked with Tchouaméni all the time, aren't we? And surely him or Valverde they're going to get rid of. And if it's going to be either one of the two,
what a great story that is. Love it.
That's crazy. That is so crazy. I mean, I love it when there's a punch up in any kind of story, but they're a bit like ten a penny. But when there's a punch up and then there's a punch up the next day, that's extra special. And it's a Real Madrid, amazing. And
they've got too many. It's amazing the stories coming out of Real Madrid at the moment. Obviously, some of it's because they obviously don't have enough respect for Arbeloa, despite him being a long-term Real Madrid player. Apparently, a lot of them complaining about not being in the team. Obviously, there's fighting. There's Mbappe, who's a law to himself. Enrique knew he was quite happy to let go. Created a better side as a result. Brilliant player though Mbappe is. So they've got a problem. And then they want to drop Mourinho in there because I think Perez thinks he's going to go. Like I think Perez is thinking it's Mourinho of 15 years ago when he had this ability to make players run through walls. Now it's just toxic.
Yeah,
like
it's like dropping Mentos into a bottle of Coke. It's going to go.
It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be so good to watch.
Oh yeah, I mean, but to take it back to United, like there's Camavinga as well. That Camavinga's not getting in the team. I don't know if I'd
have both of them. Tchouaméni, I'd walk over broken glass. I'd murder my own grandmother.
He's got to be leaving surely because Valverde is the captain, and I mean I would love Valverde, but I don't think they're going to get rid of here. Well, I say not the captain, but I Carvalho, he's not been playing that much. But you surely think he's probably going to leave. But unless Mourinho brings them all in and they're all going to be lovey-dovey next season.
Yeah, what a great... Oh, God, he's going to be so good. It's mad. It's utterly mad. And Mourinho's 10 years past his best.
Yeah.
And he's just toxic these days. Although it seems to have not completely collapsed at Benfica, maybe because it's
been unbeaten this season, haven't they?
In
the league.
Yeah.
But they're still not winning the league anyway. Yeah, a lot.
I know, they're going to go unbeaten and still not win.
Before that. Yeah, I remember Fenerbahce did like reasonably well, but didn't win the league. But I mean, I feel like there's a big caveat. They are existing in a league where only 5 teams have ever won the league before, and like Boa Vista won it once, and some other team won it. There are 3 teams in that league, so there's not that many chances to lose.
True. True.
Yeah.
All right. So Forest next weekend. Presumably everyone will be back. It seems like the Sesko's problem wasn't. It's just a shin issue. Casemiro, it was very vague, wasn't it? And he had this clause where if he'd played 35 games, he could trigger his next contract. I think everyone is like, he's going. That was not anything to do with it, but it's nice conspiracy theory, isn't it? It seems like it's not an issue. He'll be back. Presumably Dalot will start again and we'll be back to pretty much full strength.
Okay.
And Forest, let's just have a look. As we are recording,
What's the scores?
Forest versus Newcastle. We're recording on Sunday. So Forest Newcastle finished at 1-1, which doesn't half make it, given that Forest play us, and then they've got another difficult team, haven't they? So in theory, if West Ham win all their games, Forest could still go down. It seems unlikely. It seems very, very unlikely, yeah. We'll see after the West Ham game just how tight it is. West Ham play Arsenal today.
Until the 88th minute as well, by the looks of it.
What do you think Spurs fans want? Like, they want Arsenal to win?
That's really true, isn't it?
Because Arsenal play Burnley next, they're already relegated, and then Crystal Palace, and Glasner is already saying he's playing the second team in that one. He's not sorry because they've got the Conference League final 3 days afterwards. So Arsenal are going to win those next two for sure. Mm-hmm. This is the title on the line today against West Ham. West Ham fighting for their lives. Would Spurs rather stay up and see Arsenal win the title, or go down and have Arsenal's season ruined? What a choice. Yeah,
does it count as a win-win or a lose-lose today for them? It's
definitely a lose-lose.
Yeah. It's mad. I mean, I really there are pros and cons to City or Arsenal winning the league, to be honest, in my head. But it would be really funny to see. It would have been, the best situation would have been, just to laugh at Spurs fans, would have been Spurs go down, Arsenal win the league, and then Harry Kane scores the winner in the Champions League final.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Yeah, I have a problem with this because obviously City, the rivals, the local rivals, and they cheated to get where they are. Every time I say that word, someone will comment, "You're going to get sued." I'm not going to get sued. They've cheated. Provably, they've already done it because UEFA fined them twice for cheating on their financials. They are alleged to have cheated many hundreds of times more than that as well. So, in a sense, that cheating, I rationalise it like this: they're just not a real club, right? Yeah. It's just not real. Everything they win has an asterisk by it. I almost couldn't care. Of course, they're the local rivals, and that matters. Arsenal fans are just so fucking annoying, and so's their manager. Mikel Arteta, what's a little shit, and they play awful, awful, awful football. Like, just terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping if they win stuff, that people don't go, "Oh, well, we've got to copy that. We've got to fight at corners," and literally play into the corner so you can get to corner.
It is really difficult. But like you said, I do get the argument that City are just a synthetic team. But this is how fickle I am. When I saw that guy, and he repeatedly kept turning up on TV, having the Arsenal bottle, the Man City fan, I think that almost entirely made me an Arsenal supporter for the rest of the season. Cause
yeah, I know. Just pathetic.
The hubris.
Yeah, I know.
God. And then there's clearly no hubris because they've won everything for so long, and they're just, they are just an awful football club.
I guess the best situation would be that here's the scenario, right? Arsenal blow it, because it'll be funny to laugh at Mikel Arteta and Arsenal fans, particularly. So they blow it, they lose Champions League final, they blow it against West Ham. That game will probably finish by the time you listen to this, so this could be totally redundant. The Premier League Independent Commission finally give their result, which is, they're found guilty on most of the charges. They get a massive points deduction, which relegates them. Pep retires. All the players go out on loan or sold, or even better, the UAE go, right, we've had enough of that. We were caught. We need to move on from it, especially with what's going on in the Gulf anyway, and the economic impact of all of that, a little rationalising of what is important. And so City are playing in the Championship next season. That's the best result. Everybody loses.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
That would be incredible. Isn't it just?
Dream.
Yeah.
Absolute
all right.
Dream.
I think we'll leave it there on that nonsense. We'll be back in midweek. I think I'm doing a finance pod with Jamie. We're going to break down exactly how much money United are going to get out of the Champions League and where it's going to go, and some of the new sponsorship deals that United are signing at the moment. Thank you very much for listening. Check out patreon.com/NQATpod for our extra show. Haven't done one this week. We'll get it done. Check out the Substack, nqatpod.substack.com. Find Tom on Blue Sky, not on the cesspool that is Twitter. Very sensible, Tom. Yeah, just horrendous. We will catch you all next time. Thanks a lot. Bye now.